Hello dissenters, my name is Alex and I am here today in Banished within my graveyard of Boulder Line, where there is now a gravestone which is apparently gigantic. Either that or this is a baby, a 6-year-old. So these are still extremely large gravestones, taller than the average child. Oh well, I like them that way, otherwise you wouldn't be able to see them. Anyways, someone else has died, like I said, Gilbert the Fisherman. So we need a moment of silence for that master fisherman who is oh so adept at throwing sticks into the water. Okay, that is long enough. Yes, only if someone dies after the cemetery has been built, that's the only time you're going to see the gravestones. If they die before, I guess they are abducted for alien experiments. I'm not really sure where their bodies go if you don't have a cemetery. But the cemetery has some really cool functionality. It maintains this happiness bar. How it does that is if you don't have a cemetery and your elders start dying, people get sad. They don't like to see their fathers die, of course. So they can go to the cemetery, pay their respects, and then they don't get sad. So it maintains this average happiness. So good functionality. I'm glad it's not just aesthetic only. Over here in the square, I want to show you some of the upgrades I've been making to the road network and are continuing to make just to add a little bit more symmetry to the square. So as the city expands beyond the square, it's going to become asymmetrical, but right here in this little area on the water, I'm going to try to keep it as symmetrical as possible. So today we're going to be building the town hall, so we may as well get this construction underway because we do have a lot of resources to work with, and we're going to start working on replenishing those resources, possibly by making either a quarry or a mine. That's what I'm planning on doing right now. And of course, as always, increasing the number of houses to start making more babies. I've decided to begin building the quarry across from the cemetery. It's not directly across, but I'm going to be able to run this road right up in front of it. This is going to be where the entrance to the quarry is. We're infringing upon some wildlife habitation, apparently, but I think it is successfully outside of the circle of radius for the Forester's Lodge and all of the other huts and gathering places that we need. So it's kind of off by itself because I don't want it to be in the center of town. That just doesn't make sense to me from an aesthetic standpoint. And we're going to go ahead and run the road out next to it just because we want to get that situated ahead of time. So just drag it all the way up to the very tip top. There we go. And another one to run right alongside it because two wide roads just look cooler. That's going to take our builders a little while, so we're going to go ahead and speed this process up because they're going to have to clear 64 obstacles are in the way of this structure. That's going to take a while. And just to get that quarry going even faster, I'm going to put the town hall on pause because we still need half of the stone resources and 48 of the iron, and we're still going to need 80 logs and 40 iron to build this, so we should have enough to start the quarry. It's nice that the quarry doesn't require stone to build because, let's face it, that wouldn't really help. Like, oh, I'm completely out of stone. How can I get stone? The quarry! Oh, the quarry requires stone to build. Okay, well, whoops. I'm glad that he thought of that. As the wee babies play in the future quarry and the resources are picked up, I can't help but notice that we have a new merchant at the trading post. Hopefully with something good to trade. So let's take a look and see. Alright, pause the game just to make sure that nothing bad happens while we're looking. It looks like we have a bunch of sheep. Oh, sheep. They cost 600 apiece, you say. Okay, so in theory we need 2 of those at least to start breeding some more perhaps, and we don't have a pasture set up either, so this is kind of awkward. I probably should have thought of that, but let's see how many different things we're going to need to trade. Looks like if we trade all 100 of our tools, that's going to be at least enough for 1 sheep. 20 coats is going to be close to half of another one, and he won't accept fish or herbs. So that's not great. Okay, well, in that case, we're going to work on trying to get enough materials here to buy 2 sheep. I kind of like the idea of building the pasture out here in the wilderness, kind of away from civilization, and have the farmers and the herdsmen working out in this area. So let's make the first set of pasture a little bit away from this bridge, just so we make sure we have room for homes in the future if we want some the farmers and the herdsmen to live out here. So let's make at least 8 spaces to make room for 2 homes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we'll make room for 1 road. So the road would be on this 9th space. There we go. All right, I have counted. I have done my math. Let's make the entrance on this side, and we'll make the pasture 10 by 15. We don't want to make it huge. 20 by 20, I think, is the maximum. So let's make it 10 by 15. Just kind of a good little starting pasture, you know. All right, there we go. So we're going to start construction on that. Pause construction on the quarry, and pause construction on these other homes as well. One of our new homes that I've queued up has been created, so we want the builders to go immediately towards this pasture, which is going to take 46 logs, and a lot of things need to be cut down. So I think all the traders are done taking everything over here to the trading post, so let's attempt to trade, shall we? I can add 155 tools to make 1,240 units, which is actually more than I need. So let's make a kind of a mix, right? Let's mix these up a little bit, and let's try to get 15 just to see how much that is. I am bad at math. 13 is too short, so let's add one more tool in. There we go, 1,203. And we can buy 2 sheep with that, I think. So is that going to be good? What are they going to do with the sheep? All right, we got 2 sheep. All right, so we don't have to build the pasture. I have learned my lesson, and we've made our first successful trade. We have like a temporary pen for the sheep to rest. They are hiding inside of the ground like ostriches, watching as the deer herd passes. Suddenly, our supply of tools and clothing is low. Who would have thought, right? I know. All right, so since we've traded all those and we don't have excess to stock up the trading, let's turn the hide coat storage and the iron tool storage to 0. What that's going to allow us to do is kind of get our own stocks back up before taking more to the trading post. What I love about this game is I always set out to do something and I end up doing something else entirely. Now, since the trader is pretty much, we're done with him, right? I think that we can dismiss him and make him go on his merry way. So there he goes with the rest of his sheep just hiding under the blanket. Up the river, I can hear them baaing in the distance, baa. And we're going to take the traders off. You know, we only need 1 now. So that's going to give us some spare laborers. And we're also going to want to reapply them possibly to... probably herdsmen, actually, to maintain this pasture once it gets built, or possibly even for the quarry up here. So I've got the quarry on pause still. It hasn't even got any resources laid out. We're going to want to get the pasture up and running so that the sheep can start making some wool for us. And what that's going to allow us to do with that newfound source of wool is start making warm coats instead of just hide coats, which is going to keep our people even warmer, even toastier, to allow them to keep working even longer. Alright, head up to the quarry. We can probably resume construction on this since we just need to bring materials there, and hopefully all this stuff will be underway. Maybe we'll get the town hall done this episode, maybe not. Don't want to divert too much attention away. We can probably afford to add 1 more builder since we're doing a bunch of construction right now. Gonna leave us with 1 laborer, and someone else has died. Ileona the hunter has died of old age, and Isatina has Isatina's pretty old too, if I recall. Look at all these empty homes. We need some babies. Oh, Felicity is about to break the 70 record. Maybe the oldest person in this entire village. That's my guess for oldest anyways. Almost 70. Crazy. Look at them grow. Just look at them grow. And look at these gravestones just placed kind of randomly around. You would think they would start with a line, but no, they're just going to find an open gap and put a stone there. But that's okay. Whatever helps them cope with the grief. Don't get sad. Don't get sad. Be happy. Stay happy and work for me longer. We are up to 43 total people in Boulderline in year 11. Feeling pretty good about Boulderline. The way it's shaping up, the way it's growing, I like that we're taking advantage of these islands. It's taking a while to get there. Yes! Watch as the pasture pops into being. Let's start this by setting an animal. The sheep are going to be taken here, hopefully. We have to make, of course, some herds, at least 1 herdsman to start taking care of the sheep. So that's, is that disabling work? That's enabling work. Okay, we're going to get the citizen here, and we're going to be, what does this do? What is this slider? Controls the number of animals to keep in the pasture. All right, so if you exceed this count, you can actually slaughter them for food. So it's a good way to kind of keep control of your population. Right now, we're just going to keep that maxed out because we want a whole bunch of sheep because we want to start getting some wool and producing that. Let's find the, look at these smart sheep. They know how to swim. They know how to use gates. They just walked right in. We don't even have the herdsman leading them. They're just like, oh, this is my new home. I'm so excited. I'm a sheep. That's how I feel that they talk to each other. They just keep reminding each other that they're sheep. I am a sheep. Here's the herdswoman, 55 years old, taking care of Ninefer. Hello, Ninefer. Long time no see. Gonna start tilling the fields here to help them have some more food so that they can grow faster. I think they can even grow without a herdsman, but the herdsman is going to allow them to breed more frequently. As far as I know, anyway. Could be wrong, but that's how I understand it to work. All we need is one more piece of iron. Yes, I know we have 0, but they're mining some more over here. Don't worry, it will arrive soon enough, and we can see my favorite stage when it just pops into being and starts being constructed. I just love watching that. Now, if you'll notice down here at the bottom left of the event log, a lot of new laborers have arrived. We've got Dillip, who's apparently been educated, so that's great. He got his high school diploma, and he is now working as a laborer. And Stonewally Jackson has become an adult, also working as a laborer. It's great to see all of them doing their thing. And what is this? What is this? Just a bunch of pieces of stone, okay? That's weirder than I thought it would be, but I'm curious to see what the quarry is going to look like upon completion. Builders are doing their thing. We got 3 in total right now. We're apparently making a giant staircase to heaven. That's a great start. It's on top of the road, which is kind of nifty. I like that all the buildings kind of interact with the roads slightly. So I want to see, does it dig down, or are they... Okay, well, it is complete now. It's just like a giant pit down here. All right, cool. And it looks like there's a limited amount of stone, so that's nifty. 100% of this stone is remaining, so eventually it can be depleted. With our laborers now, it's time to start getting them to become stone cutters. We can have up to 15 stone cutters, but for now, I'm just going to make 3 stone cutters, I suppose, and take off one of our builders so that we have at least 1 dedicated laborer. And we should have more laborers arriving as more children are educated and grow up. Let's see if we can find Dillip, shall we? I'm just curious where he's living. There's only a limited number of homes around here. He's not in this home. There he is, Dillip. He is educated. The school system is working. I feel like a good mayor, but he was educated and then he became a stone cutter. So the irony, that's like the equivalent of going to college in this town. And then you can't do anything else, so you just become like a coal miner. Okay, that's what the school system's doing. It's training them to become diggers in the ground. They're just going to dig in the ground. Lewell, 65-year-old stone cutter. Man, this guy is an ox. Let's see how old Felicity is now. 72. Felicity, I'm sorry. Our healthcare is not that great in Boulderline, so you might have a little bit of difficulty. I'm so sorry. We're going to up this fuel limit for the woodcutter to 350 so that we can start using some to trade with. Let's actually bring some of our excess chopped wood over here. We have so much firewood right now. Let's go ahead and bring 150. Seems okay to have an extra 170 or so. We still got a ton of herbs here, but it looks like nobody really wants them. And we've also got a good supply of stored tools and stored clothes. It's also important that we start making different types of clothes. So let's make warm coats right now with leather and wool. That's going to be important to switch that over to start taking advantage of the sheep, which will hopefully multiply eventually. We'll have to wait and see if we find any baby sheep over here sooner or later, but 2 should be sufficient for now, I hope. Let's figure out where we're going to place the mine, and then we'll worry about actually constructing it in the next episode. So, here's a mine. It's going to cost us 48 lumber and 68 stone. Luckily, we have dedicated supplies of that, and I think it has to be placed inside of a mountain. So we want the road facing outward. It needs to be kind of attached somewhere over here. There's a weird dip in the hill where it won't let me build. Okay, I think I found the perfect place. This is the only place that it can fit facing this direction on the mountain, so it's going to have to go right back here. All right, there's where the mine's going to go. We'll build a road leading out to it, maybe some more homes in front of the mine. I think that we should have, let's count how many spaces we have up to the mine. Approximately 13, so that's going to be enough for 3 homes in a row, kind of around. Okay, neighborhoods going in the future. Sounds good, guys. We're going to start construction on that, but I will see you in the next episode where we hopefully can get a town hall. The first matter of importance is just getting a steady supply of materials, so that's what I've got to focus on now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you're enjoying Boulderline and Banished and you want to see more videos like it, please support this series by leaving a like on the videos that you enjoy, and of course leaving your thoughts in the comments below. Follow me on Twitter if you are not already. I'll give updates on Banished videos and all other videos there first. Whenever they get posted, that's where you'll be notified. Also, feel free to tweet at me. I'll try to tweet back if you have something good to say, and if I have something good to say, that is. Links to everything in the description of this video. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Italics, and I will see you next time.